Hey everyone, so this is a review on a product that I purchased a couple of months ago. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen when I purchased this, and if you don't, you probably should because I'm on there all the time. If you want any of my links to social media, they're always down in the comment section, little description box below, so check them out. But yeah, I did buy this a couple of months ago, and this is the ZahraBeauty Spinning Lipstick Tower in Classy White. I bought it from their online store, and this review is pretty much going to go over everything to do with my experience. From the product, showing close-ups, how it functions, what I think, and the customer service. So my experience with the company, shipping time, the cost, shipping cost, as well as the cost of the item, and just some general details like that. And this is just an honest review for you guys because I hadn't seen it a lot on YouTube at all. I think I've only seen one other person talk about this, and it is a decent product. It's something that people can use, but I haven't been able to find it anywhere else. I found it in one wholesaler, but you had to buy a minimum of I think 100 or 500, and I don't need that many. So this is the only other place I could find it that's sold to the general public. So that's why I bought it from here. If you do know anywhere else that sells it, please comment below and let me know because I could not find it. First, I want to go through price because that's the important thing for most people. The cost of the Classy White version is $99 US. It does come in a couple of other colors, and I think the shiny ones might be a little bit more expensive. I'm not quite sure, but you can check out their website. I think it comes in black, pink, gold and silver, but I preferred the white because it just matched everything that I had. The cost for shipping is ridiculous, and for this reason I would not recommend anybody who's international to buy it unless you really want it. Shipping was $197 US, so almost twice the cost of the product itself, bringing it to a total of just under $300 US to buy. So unless you really want it, if you aren't from the States, if you're from anywhere else around the world, their international shipping rates are ridiculous. So I wouldn't recommend it for anybody unless you are obsessed and just want it, because that's crazy. So shipping wise, they get a big thumbs down. It's too expensive. But local shipping, you'd need to check that out. It's probably not anywhere near as bad, but international shipping was just crap as far as the cost. Customer experience, it was okay. The website when I purchased it, it didn't say back ordered. It just had, buy now, which is fine. So I bought it. I'd been waiting for it to come back in stock, and it finally disappeared. It said sold out. So I clicked buy now when it came back in stock and paid for it, and all was dandy. 2 weeks later, I still hadn't received a shipping confirmation or confirmation of my order going through. So I contacted them and basically said, I paid for this 2 weeks ago. I haven't heard anything. What's going on? They said, oh, it's actually out of stock. It won't be back in stock until next week. So by this stage, that was second week of September, and I purchased it late in August. So the next week I get an email saying your item has been shipped. So that's great. That's about 3.5 weeks after I bought the item. That's okay. Then waiting around, and in I think the second week of October it arrived. So it did take quite a long time to get here, almost 2 months, so just under 2 months, which is a long time, but taking out the fact that it was back ordered for 3 weeks, then shipping, that's fairly standard for international shipping to Australia. So it's average. Customer service was average at best, not bad, but they really didn't deliver the service they promoted. They said that you would get an update, everything will be sent to you via email, but it took me to contact them before I knew what was going on. When they did contact me about it being shipped, they didn't put down the provider, they only put down the tracking number, so I had to work out who it was that they were shipping with, which is another thing they said that they would do and they didn't. just these little things that companies say they're going to do, and when they don't do it and your expectations aren't met, it's a little disappointing. But overall, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't great. With the packaging, it arrived in a large box and a smaller box inside. It was wrapped up quite well, quite sturdy, packaging was fine, and that was all good, so that was good. The actual dimensions of the product, it's 7 inches by 7 inches and 9 inches tall. It holds 81 lipsticks, and I will show you what the product looks like close up and share my thoughts about what I think about the actual product itself. So now for a close-up of the product itself. This is the tower. So it holds 81 lipsticks all together, and it's in a glossy white finish with little diamante strands around each level. There is a reason for those. It's essentially to make it look a bit neater where the acrylic meets the acrylic, so you don't have a big gap, just as a finishing touch. Not a big fan of diamantes myself, but I can appreciate why they've used them in this case. So as far as the lipsticks go, you can fit quite a few different types of lipsticks. So I've got some NYX round lipsticks, some butter glosses, just some Revlon, Face of Australia, Colour Whispers from Maybelline, some chunkier L'Oreal lipsticks and Bourjois lipsticks, MAC as well. So there's all of those. In the top, I've even got some Revlon, so you can fit the square shapes up in the top holes, and MAC. The holes at the top are circular, and you've also got some branding just on the top here. It says ZahraBeauty. Now for the actual quality of the item itself, I must say I'm a little disappointed. When it arrived, one of the diamantes here had actually fallen out. It was missing. So I had something else that had some small diamantes on it, which were fairly similar. So I just popped one out of that and pulled back the clasp, jammed it in there, and at least it's got something in there now. But you can tell it's different, which is disappointing for something that isn't cheap. It's quite expensive. You'd think those little finishing touches would have been looked at before it went out. It wasn't in the box, so it was obviously like that when it was packaged. So when you run across, you can see that it's just different. A couple of them were a bit twisted, so I straightened them up. Just not the actual rope itself. That's pretty flat the whole way around. It's just some of the gems, the clasps, look like they'd been knocked around. So I just had to tighten them up, which is a delicate matter, but I've got some jewelry tools. So they came in handy. Another issue, which I'll zoom in for to show you guys, is this here. Just the finishing things, like this gap. When you're paying this much for a product, you kind of want it to be almost perfect, I guess. It's never really perfect, but something like this you'd think they would have paid a bit more attention to and made sure they joined, like the rest of them, they just joined together. Whereas this one, you've got a gap there. So it just little things like that. Something else that I noticed when it came through, and I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it properly, but I'll try. Down this side on the actual outside, see if you can hear it. There's actually a big clump of glue. I don't know if it's come through or if it's just rubbed on the side of it when they were making it, but there's a big bit of glue just on the outside there, which is, you know, it's not great to look at, but there's also a big scratch, which was inside the protective packaging. So again, it makes me think that it happened during production. Just here, if you can see it, it's not showing up as much on camera, but you can kind of see it when I move it around. There's just a scratch across there, which again is disappointing because you're paying so much for a product. You kind of want it to be quality control checked before they send it out. And yeah, it's a bit of a pain in the butt to really send back or get a replacement or anything like that, because they're always out of stock too. Another thing that I noticed, and this is probably I can maybe see if I can fix it up. And when you've got a lipstick in there, it's not as noticeable. But the thing that bothered me the most, and I'm just going to adjust my camera so you can see it, is at the back of the tower, there is a big gap in the top. So yeah, that's not good. I don't think that's finished very well at all. The others, there's no gap, so it looks great. And then you turn it and bam, massive gap. So yeah, I'm really disappointed with that. I have to work out what I'm going to do to try to fix that myself. Just to get something in there, I might try to put some, plastic putty or something in there to block the hole and make it just look white so it doesn't stand out so much. Because yeah, when you're spinning it, all the ones that they have videos of and photos of are perfect, and they spin it and it looks wonderful and fantastic. But then this one, you're spinning it and bam, massive hole. So that was really disappointing when I saw that. It was a bit of a letdown. Overall though, the performance of the product, it is a good lipstick stand. It looks nice to look at, but it just means that I have to keep that facing the back, which is a shame because this is on the opposite side. So I just have it facing that way, so that way nobody can see the scratches or the gaps. It spins quite freely, spins well, doesn't get stuck, it's really smooth, so at least that's a good thing, that's a plus. But yeah, that is the stand. So that's my review on the spinning lipstick tower from ZahraBeauty. I hope you found it helpful, but if you do have any other questions I haven't covered in this video, please comment below and let me know, and I can try to answer them for you. If you have this product yourself, if you've got the spinning tower, let me know what you think, and if you can find it anywhere else, or if you know somebody that sells it, particularly in Australia or somewhere overseas with better shipping rates, please comment below and help everyone out, because I really think this type of product, this type of storage is very handy, and it saves a lot of space. With it spinning, you've got access and you can see 81 lipsticks, which means that you are more inclined to use them if you can see them, and it saves on space as well. So if you only have a small area for them, they're not spread out, they're all together nice and neat, and it looks really clean and kept. But yeah, if you do know somewhere that sells it cheaper or the same product or something very similar, let me know below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like always, if you've got any questions, leave them below, and I'll see you in my next video.